What's going on, team? Sherjan here, your personal mentor. So one of the things that I hated when I was at Google was we always had this habit of taking notes. And I always would look at some of my managers, and especially one of my managers named Jesse, who loved taking notes. Like he would take notes at every call and every meeting and every conference meeting or anything that we had. He always would be taking notes. And then he was very adamant about it and would tell the juniors like myself to take notes in the meetings as well. But I always hated doing it. I was like, man, we never use these notes. These are useless. But anyways, fast forward, I went to Morgan Stanley, and at Morgan Stanley, one of the first things I wanted to do was bring in the best habits of my managers from Google. So I thought about who was one of the best managers I had, and Jesse was one of the best managers I had when I was at Google. And I realized that some of the habits that people loved about him, one of them was actually taking notes. So I said, you know what, even though I hate it, let's see if I can implement this at work at Morgan Stanley. So on my first day, I think I had a conference call, and in that conference call, that's exactly what I did. I took the notes and then I redistributed them distributed them to everybody who was on that call. And then I just said, let's see what happens. And guess what? Literally within minutes, I started getting thank you replies from all these senior managing directors and partners and whoever who were on that call. And they were also talking amongst themselves. They're like, who's this new kid with such a good habit? So anyways, I just want to say thank you to Jesse on this YouTube video for giving me that edge in my new job. But what I wanted to teach you guys is that same thing, and what I did and what I learned from Jesse, hopefully you guys can implement it in your own career. So in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to take those notes, how to make it a habit, and how it can give you that edge in your career and hopefully get you closer to a promotion or getting you some brownie points at work. All right, so how to do this. So let's say you have a meeting coming up. It could be a phone call, it could be a Zoom call, it could be an in-person meeting, whatever it is. What I want you to do is before you join that meeting, take your laptop with you. Open up the laptop, and before the call begins or the meeting begins or meeting starts, open up the email browser. So whatever email you use, it could be Gmail or Outlook or whatever it is, open that up, open up a new message, right? So compose a new message and go straight to the message section of the body of that email. Now, listen to the call carefully, and what I want you to do is, in a bullet point format, start typing away quickly in a summarized format anything that you're hearing. So for example, it could be like, hey, so the revenue went up by 21%, and this is why it went up. Boom, just quick summary, high level, put it down in a bullet. And don't worry about the grammar so much for now. Don't worry about if you caught all the information. The goal here is efficiency, and the goal here is to catch that 80-20. As long as you can catch 80% of the information, that's great, right? That's all you need. You don't need to catch all the information. So start summarizing everything that you're hearing on that call in these bullet point formats. So let's say the call is 30 minutes long. You'll probably have 8 to 10 bullets, right? And you don't need all the details, like I said. So now let's just say you go through all those bullets, and then the call finishes. So now you have about 10 bullets that you've created, which kind of overall summarize the call. Now, your job's not done. The call hangs up. What I want you to do is spend the next 5 minutes going over those bullets. And because you have all the information that's fresh in your mind, you can go over these bullets and fill in any of the gaps that you still remember that you can put in and improve the grammar and improve the sentence structure, but don't spend more than 10 minutes doing that. That's all you need to do. So now what you have is you have some really clean and crisp 10 bullets that summarize the entire call. And feel free to delete a bullet that you think is not relevant or any information that you think is not punchy. The important thing here is to have only punchy information because these are just call notes. They don't need to be verbatim. All right, so now you have these 10 bullets that are perfectly summarizing the entire call. What I want you to do then is on the top of the bullets, I want you to create a section header. And this section header, you can call it anything from call notes or overview or something along those lines. All right, so now you have the general notes section completed. What I want you to do is I want you to create another section above the general notes section, which is called key takeaways, right? So key takeaways is not more than 2 bullets. Yes, that's it, 2 bullets. Now, what are those bullets? What I want you to do is go through the general notes that you created, the 8 to 10 bullets, and I want you to further summarize those and put in key takeaways. Now, generally speaking, key takeaways are kind of like a high level summary of whatever happened in the call. And they're basically designed for super senior people who will be on this email thread, and they'll be, they won't have a lot of time. They'll be on their mobile phone or on their iPad. And for them, as soon as they glance of your email that you'll send, they'll quickly get an idea of what happened in that call. And that's a great way to kind of summarize it for them so they don't have to spend time reading the entire 8 to 10 bullets that you have. So pick like the highest level, the most punchiest information from from the general notes section and put it in the key takeaways. All right, so that's the second section. What I want you to do after this is I want you to create another section called next steps, right? So next steps is going to be all the way at the top. So it's going to be next steps is the first section, then key takeaways, and then general notes. And next steps is only a couple of bullets as well, but this is actual actionable items, right? And by whom. So basically you'll have a bullet that says, for example, let's say on the call, it was discussed that Jenny, who's a managing director who covers the consumer sector, will share insights into the industry, right? Let's just say that was the next step, one of the key steps that had to be done. So the first bullet that you'll put in terms of next steps will be at Jenny to share insights about the consumer sector. That's it, right? And then maybe let's just say another bullet, another thing that was discussed that has to be done after the meeting was Eric, who's an intern, to print the materials and share it with all the members of the team, deal team, for example, right? So another bullet you'll create will be like at Eric to print, information and the deal memos and share it with the broader team. That's it. That's the next steps. So now what you have is if you look at the body of your email, you have next steps at the top, then you have key takeaways, and then you have the final thing, which is general notes. So as soon as someone receives this email, they'll know exactly what happened in that call, what were the key takeaways, and whose court the ball is in, what needs to happen next. All right, so once you've done that, what I want you to do is quickly scan over the whole message, the email one more time, spend a minute just scanning over it, fixing any grammars, any issues, and then enter all the emails of everybody who was on the call other than people who are external to the firm. Don't put clients on this, don't put any third parties on this, just put people internal to the firm. Why? Because you don't want to get into trouble for typing something down and sharing it externally and then the client seeing something that is a wrong information or something incorrect and then getting mad at you. So you don't want that, you don't want to take that risk. So just put people internal and put everybody on. Doesn't matter if they're the CEO of the firm all the way down to the summer intern, put everybody who was on that call in the to line of that email. In the subject line, just say, meeting notes dash what the name of the meeting was, and then hit send. That's it, right? So this should not take you more than 15 minutes in total. So after the call finishes, spend 15 minutes total doing this. And I guarantee you when you do this, automatically you'll win so many brownie points that you won't even know. Why? Most of the senior people will first of all be like, oh my God, this is a perfect summary of what happened on the call. They know exactly what needs to happen next, and it'll get them and keep them organized, which is the best thing a junior person can do. Keeping senior people organized and on track is one of the best value adds you can do. The second thing, they know that you were paying attention in the meeting or during the meeting. You weren't just like, dialed in and just sitting on your butt and not doing anything. You were paying attention, you were taking detailed notes, and then you took the time and effort to create this thing, this summary and the next steps. And that last part, the next steps piece, shows initiative. So definitely add that in because it shows that, hey, even if you're a junior person, you're a summer intern, you basically know what needs to happen and you have that, initiative ability to take initiative and that leadership skill to say, hey, Jenny, managing director of the retail sector, we need you to share the insights, right? Or Eric, you summer intern who's my peer, I need you to print the materials. And maybe even you, like at Sherjan, you need to go bring coffee for everybody in the office. Totally fine. So put in whatever you need to put in the next steps and send this out around. All right, anyways, hopefully this helps you guys. It has helped me a lot. And even if, let's just say you are already working in a company and it's been many, many years and you've never done this, pick up the habit. It's a good habit to have. And don't worry, what will people say that, oh my God, he's trying to suck up to the seniors now because he or she is about to get promoted. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what others will say. Add this into your routine, do it on every call, and guess what? I guarantee you people will love you for it. And soon it'll become a habit in your office and junior people will pick up on it and they'll start doing it. So it's a good habit to follow, it's a good habit to do, it's a good habit to spread. It's gonna make you more efficient and it's gonna make everybody around you more efficient as well. Good luck.